Thank you all for coming. Welcome to the Health and Human Services Committee. I'm going to start by reading the notice. City of New Haven meeting agenda, Health and Human Services Committee, Thursday, June 27th, 2024, 6:30 p.m. Board of Alders Chamber. Meeting. The Health and Human Services Committee will meet in person on Thursday, June 27th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. in the Board of Alders Chamber, 165 Church Street, second floor, New Haven, Connecticut, to act on the following items. LM 2024-0383, Board of Alders approving a one-year contract in the amount of $205,000 to New Reach Inc. to provide gap funding for the operation of the Life Haven Emergency Family Shelter. LM 2024-0384, Order of the New Haven Board of Alders approving a one-year contract of $247,000 to Liberty Community Services, one, to operate a prevention/diversion program for people at risk of homelessness that includes rental assistance and security deposits, and two, a navigation hub with 3 satellite hubs for people experiencing sheltered homelessness. LM 2024-0385, Order of the New Haven Board of Alders approving a one-year contract in the amount of $165,000 to Christian Community Action to provide gap funding for the operation of the Hillside Family Shelter and staffing for their homeless diversion program. LM 2024-0386, Order of the New Haven Board of Alders approving a one-year contract with Upon This Rock Ministries for $500,000 to develop and operate a 24-hour shelter for 65 unhoused males at 645 Fifth Avenue. LM-2024-0395, Order of the Board of Alders of the City of New Haven authorizing the City of New Haven Mayor or Controller to enter a contract with CAHS/ACT for the operational duties of the Financial Empowerment Center in an amount not to exceed $225,000 effective July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025. This vendor will provide certified financial counselors to facilitate financial counseling sessions, conduct financial workshops, and seminars within the New Haven community, participate in community events, and conduct outreach activities. These items are on file and available for public inspection in the Office of Legislative Services, 165 Church Street, New Haven. For order, Honorable David, Chair, Honorable Michael Smart, City Clerk. If you need an accessibility-related accommodation, please contact 203-946-7651 voice or 203-946-8522-TTY. In accordance with the City of New Haven COVID-19 policies, masks are now optional. Upvotes and comments to public testimony at newhavenct.gov. Okay. So appreciate everybody being here. My name is Sarah Miller. I'm the Vice Chair of this committee, voting for Alder Saban tonight, and I will invite my colleagues to introduce themselves, starting with my right.
Good evening, I'm Caroline Henderson, and I'm with the
Alder Campbell, Ward 5.
Alder Kiana Flores, Ward 1.
Alder Teresa Maria, Ward 12. Thank you, Alders. So we'll start tonight with the last item on the agenda, the financial department center. Please state your name and address for the record, please. Welcome.
Hello, I'm Alana Wilson. I'm the Community Services Administrator for the City of New Haven. Currently living at 129 Marble Road.
Hi, my name is Dorita Mitchell. I'm the local
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having us tonight. We are here to present the contract, the agreement with ACT Cause for implementation of our financial empowerment center. In a moment, my colleague is going to go through the presentation itself, but just a quick view of the a quick overview of the push it back this way. Just talk. As you mentioned, this is a continuation grant. You will see some past data in Ms. Mitchell's presentation, and we're asking for a one-year contract of $225,000 with full support with 4 full-time staff. So with that, I will let Ms. Mitchell tell you a little bit more about it.
Good evening. The Financial Empowerment Center is a internationally it's something that was started, I believe, in New York. And basically what it does is it couples municipalities with nonprofit organizations. So for the New Haven Financial Empowerment Center, when we're working with cause, we work with clients to obtain debt reduction, increase their credit score, working on their budgets, opening up safe and affordable banking accounts, financial recovery, sometimes, especially after COVID, there's a lot of things that were lost, so we're having to really obtain their finances. And we have also provided a free tax declaration during tax season as well. With safe and affordable banking, we're helping clients to open up safe and affordable checking accounts, savings accounts, and also credit accounts. We work together with Bank On to provide them with different products and services that they would not normally know about. With reducing that, we help our clients look at their debt with we help them with different tools. I like to use the snowball effect and help them to work on specific debts and pay them off so they can reach financial freedom. When we're talking about increasing money set aside for the future, a lot of clients are in programs such as CARES or Section 8 with vouchers and such, where they have extra money that's going to help them while they're working toward obtaining their own home. So we're helping them to save money on a regular basis. Sometimes they can start on a small, but we're helping to increase their savings on a regular basis. And when it comes to building and increasing credit scores, we are helping clients to open up secure credit cards or pay off. We're helping them to pay off debts. We're helping them to just, address things that are on their credit report. Imagine the creditors, we tell them to address them and work out something to get the things on their credit report. Reducing the number of delinquent accounts is really, as I said, contacting past creditors, establish settlements, just being able to pay things off. That works hand in hand with the budget, making sure you have money so you can pay off these creditors and then from there. Our outcomes have definitely increased over the course of our program. In the right top corner, it's a little bit, the color's a little bit weird, I'm sorry about that. But the total outcomes from 2020 to 2024 has been 1,873 outcomes, with 335 of those clients having outcomes. 419 of them had access in public support programs. So if they were homeless and needing a place to stay, they were able to access funds in order to gain a place to stay. If they were about to be evicted, they were also able to receive some funds as well to help with that situation as well. 15 established credit, so they didn't have any credit score at all, so we were able to do things to help them to establish their credit. 442 increased the amount saved for future, and that's for a home, a car, a move out of the state if that's what they want to do, rather than cases like that. 158 opened up a safe and affordable credit account. 366 reduced delinquent accounts, so that looks really good when you get those reduced accounts off of your credit report. 273 reduced their debt by 6%, and 200 increased their credit score by 35 points. The total debt reduced from 2020 to 2024 was $1,754,199. The total savings increase was $2,096,797. This past fiscal year, which is not over until Sunday, this current fiscal year, we do have 499 total outcomes. 159 reduced to delinquent accounts, 117 increased money set aside for future, 79 increased their credit score, 91 reduced debt, 48 opened up safe and affordable bank accounts, and 5 established debt. The debt reduced in this fiscal year was 720,236, and the total savings has been 347,000. There are also a lot of achievements, which I'm sure we're not going to go through all because there's a lot. But we did have an 82%, we had 82 more people from last year to this year, access emergency assistance, goods, and services. So everything they needed to obtain food, anything like that, they were able to get those benefits that they needed. 49 more people this past year were able to access emergency financial assistance via community action with the different assistance with rental assistance and utility assistance. So those things have helped tremendously. And I'd say 115 people this year have access to housing support. So that has helped with security deposits and things of that nature as well. So those are just a few of the things that we can cover at this point. As I stated previously, we have come to credit repair, debt reduction, and budgeting. We have done VITA. That's one of our major things starting in February. And I don't for that tonight, but yes, I know that we're also doing workshops and seminars in the community. So with different partners, we are working with, say for instance, the elderly. We're teaching them about different scams and things to look out for, so they don't get those phone calls and start sending money to people that they don't send money to. Be covered and knowledgeable about the different things that happen. So, I think I guess.
Thank you. And you're welcome, how we call it for 27. Thank you for joining us. Do colleagues have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Just a few questions. People tend to hear about this program.
Oftentimes, we are able to get referrals from the different partners that we have. And so with the beginning of the program, there were a lot of different organizations who really bought into the Financial Empowerment Center. And so some of those very organizations are still sending referrals, and they have a specific program in place where they want the clients to work on their finances and their credit so they can move forward and have financial stability.
One other question, just for the last fiscal year, or the fiscal year that's mentioned here, is that with four staff? I know the goal for this year is the contract will be for 4 staff. Was that with 4 as well?
It was by the end of the year, but July 1, not all staff were fully included in the role. So I believe it was by fall I had the 4 staff people on board with them.
One last question. Would you say that, given the current staff you have right now, that you all are at capacity in terms of caseloads and stability individuals, or a little bit more room for more outreach?
There's definitely more room for more outreach. And that's one of our main goals for this year, to increase our total number of active clients by about, I think, we're almost at the number that we had spoken about. So
I would just add that we have shifted Ms. Mitchell's role a bit. So the local government manager role is new, and she's going to be doing more of the partnership work in the upcoming year, which with targets around client recruitment and those goals, we do think that will help us achieve some of the benchmarks we have for additional clients. And the outcomes, because it's very individualized based on the client's stance, it's a little bit harder to project. So our key targets are really around partnerships and number of clients for this upcoming year, but we do anticipate a full staffing structure and essential in this role that will be deep and greater outcomes for the year.
Thank you very much. Any other questions?
I just have one. Can you just explain what the structure is? Like, I haven't seen this local government manager with staff.
So with the local government manager, I would take care of a lot of operations. I would still be a handful of clients, but really making sure that our benchmarks are met, the counselors are able to, meet with me and we can talk about different things that need to be strengthened in certain areas. We'll still be doing a lot of outreach, with new referrals, new partners, and making sure that the community has a lot of financial literacy.
Thank you. I haven't seen this before. Is there any other corollary structure like this? Member who's a city employee, so for overseeing staff who work for nonprofit?
So there is one of the cause staff members does sort of technically supervise the other three counselors, and she has a bit of an elevated role. So they have a management structure within their team. So the local government manager role is really making sure that the vision for the program and the technical components, contracting, invoicing, Ms. Mitchell manages those components of it. And this structure has been in place for the past several years, since the FEC was launched. The shift is just the person played that role that was taken on for this year was done sort of split through different staffers in the city. But it is the CFE to have an organizational partner paired with the local government.
Thank you for the explanation. I appreciate all the work that you do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll invite up now. It's George, whoever else is part of the next four presentation. Items 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Good evening.
Good evening. Is your name and address?
Sure, it's here's account 747 Next Avenue, Hamden. George James, 347 NOLA.
Proceed.
Thank you so much. We do have printouts for you all. Do you have them or do you need them? So tonight we'll be talking about four-part submission. Number one, seeking Board of Alders approval for a one-year contract in the amount of $165,000 to Christian Community Action to provide gap funding for the operation of the family shelter and for their homeless and diversion. The second one is seeking Board of Alders approval for a one-year contract in the amount of $205,000 to provide gap funding for the operation of the Life Haven Family Shelter. Number three, we're seeking approval for a one-year contract of $240,000 to Liberty Community Services to operate a navigation hub with 3 satellite spaces for individuals that are unhoused and to provide prevention and diversion assistance for households that are at risk of homelessness. And the last one, we're seeking a Board of Alders approval for a one-year contract in the amount of up to $500,000 to Economist Rock Ministry to develop and operate a 24-hour shelter for 60 men. As we are facing a national crisis, New Haven is not alone in our housing epidemic. COVID-19 has really exacerbated our housing crisis. According to a national study, there is a shortage of 3.8 million nationwide. Nationally, between 2001 and 2021, median rents increased by 17.9%. At the same time, the median household income only increased by 3.2%. So there is a huge gap in our housing. New Haven, Milford vacancy rates is 1.3% compared to 2.1% state and 5.6% nationally. Depending on the neighborhood, a renter household needs to earn $28.85 to $32.88 per hour to afford a two-bedroom home at a fair market price. And 51% of households have in New Haven have housing cost burden. I'll turn it over to Velma, who's going to talk about our shelter capacity in New Haven.
Good evening, everyone. So currently, our shelter capacity for individuals, we are at Columbus House, we have 81 beds, and that's for men and women. August is 20 beds, and that's for only. And Fox Housing, we have up to 100, we have 100 beds um, for couples and infants. In addition to that, our current shelter wait list is 163 individuals. When we look at families, just to give you a sense of our family numbers. So currently, our family shelter capacity, Christian Community Action, they're able to they have 17 units, and New Reach has 20 units of housing for shelter. And in addition to that, we have 24 families under wait lists to get into shelters. So that gives a sense of, where we are in the gravity of our situation. And, we still continue to experience major challenges. Rents are unaffordable for the average person, limited wage jobs, the demand for shelter remains high. And as a result, we continue to see people pitching tents throughout our community. Families and seniors continue to be forced out of their homes due to the skyrocketing rents. I have to say that in my years working in homeless services, this is the most I've ever seen seniors on the street, literally on the street. And that, it just breaks my heart. These are people who have worked all their life, most of them, and they can't afford their rents based on their fixed incomes. That's what we've seen throughout the performance. We have efficient units of affordable housing. So as President mentioned, we're seeking to give Christian Community Action a contract for $165,000 to operate their emergency family shelter. Action, but their shelter is unique. It's set up apartments, it's apartment style shelters. Each family have their own apartment. They go from efficiencies to 3 bedrooms. And they are able to accommodate 17 families on any given night. So with the $165,000, these funds will be used to support comprehensive evidence-based shelter support services for families to ensure homelessness is very brief and non-recurrent. At the shelter, they also have family coaches that help to build rapport with these families and to help them to achieve their goals. In addition, they connect families to landlord engagement specialists that connect them to landlords and units. Also, with these funds, they'll provide prevention and diversion services for families at risk of homelessness by providing eviction assistance, security deposit, and also utility assistance. And just to give you a sense of their accomplishments from last year, Christian Community Action. Last year, just to note, this is the first year that we're able to fund, give them capital for their shelter. In the past, we've been able to for the cold weather program, families off the street, and also for diversion and prevention and diversion. So just to explain with the cold weather, usually what happens in the past, we've been able to provide moteling for families, and that's what Christian Community Action did for us. 2020, they were able to assist 73 families, and of the 73 families, 37 were placed in hotels and received case management. The second part of their grant, they usually do the prevention and diversion services. With the prevention and diversion services, they were able to serve 172 unduplicated households, which comprised of 228 children and 227 adults. So of those 172 unduplicated households, they were able to provide utility assistance for 163 families, and 9 families they were able to assist with security deposit and assistance. The second part of this, our request is for New Reach. With New Reach, we're proposing a contract for $205,000. That too involves gap funding for the family shelter at Life Haven. These funds are used to support comprehensive evidence-based shelter and support services for women and children to ensure homelessness is very brief and non-recurrent. And it also provides case management and helps to stabilize the families and redirect their course, and also provide them with tools and supports to this independent living. More specifically, families will receive client-centered case management, access to medical and behavioral care, financial education, and employment training. And again, just to give you a sense of New Reach's accomplishments for last year. Last year, New Reach was able to serve 73 unduplicated families where they provided case management. The average length of stay for families within the shelter was about 90 days, but the longest stay was maximum of 260 days. So there's some families that stayed longer than others. In addition, 46 out of the 54 families that left the shelter had positive exits, and they were able to go to either a apartment, permanent supportive housing, to transitional housing, or also to some kind of inpatient program. Now we come to Liberty Community Services. We're asking for $247,000 for a one-year contract for Liberty Community Services. And this ask is two-pronged. One, to operate a navigation hub with satellite locations for individuals that are unhoused. This is a little bit, in the past, we've been able to do one navigation hub with Liberty. With this one, what we've added is satellite locations, because we found that assistance in the libraries very critical. So these funds would allow us to support a staff person at the Fairhaven Library, the Maxwell Library, and also the Wilson Library. So we're expanding locations. And then the other part of these funds will also be to provide prevention and diversion assistance to households that are at risk of homelessness. And basically, they'll be using these funds to provide prevention and diversion assistance to households, which would include security deposits, rental assistance, and assistance. They also do tenant education, and landlord mitigation and apartment inspections. We found that the tenant education has become a critical piece in helping families, helping landlords take a second look at families that have had evictions. A lot of times what they learn that they've gone through the financial literacy program that my colleague Dorena does, plus the tenant education, it really helps to make them more appealing to landlords. So those are some of the potential things we're doing through Liberty Community Services. And also, through the navigation hubs, they provide basic needs for clients. They are such as laundry, showers, meals, and they also connect individuals to housing, case management, medical and behavioral care. And they provide services at their main hub at 210 State Street, and I mentioned that they'll also be doing through these funds. They've done it before, but this is the first time that we're expanding the libraries through Gen. And as we look at Liberty's accomplishments for 2023, last year, through their prevention and diversion services, they screened 190 families and provided case management for 121. They also assisted 91 families with housing searches and provided rental assistance to 43 households. One of the really good things that they do also is they conduct quality apartment inspections. So while we're helping people with security deposit, we just don't give them a security deposit check. The staff goes out and inspects apartments to make sure that it's a worthwhile investment. So that's the good part. And they also provide follow-up care with families that they place through this program. They do tenant education and they do follow-up visits. And this is our way of being able to cultivate positive relationships with landlords. And so last year they conducted 134 home visits. Those are those follow-up visits to families that we placed. And their accomplishments for their navigation hubs, they served 279 unduplicated individuals and provided over 7,000 meals, showers, and laundry. And they completed 117 first contact forms. First contact forms are forms when someone first comes into their facility and they have never been connected to anyone. These are new people that were new to the homeless services, 170. Also, they referred 155 people to housing services and 76 individuals were referred to employment services. Our fourth request is for Upon This Rock to be able to do a one-year contract in the amount of $500,000 to provide and operate, to develop and operate a 24-hour shelter for males. And the funds will be used specifically to provide 24-hour shelter for 65 males with wraparound services, to connect individuals to housing, case management, medical and behavioral care, also to connect individuals to financial and employment services. And the key thing that we'd like you to know is that with this particular shelter, there will be referrals only, no walk-ins, so there will be no lines waiting to do. So that's the key thing I wanted to add. And Upon This Rock is pretty new to to the scene. They've been with us for the last couple of years, running our warming centers. They've done a really good job with the warming centers, and so we wanted to be able to offer them this opportunity to be able to work with us. And so just to share like their accomplishments for last year, Community Kids on the Block, they were able to serve over 311 unduplicated individuals at their warming centers. And while folks were at their warming centers, they provided hot meals nightly, provided basic needs items, and also assisted with housing applications and assistance with furniture and other things that clients needed that were moving into their own space. So that's it. Open to questions.
Thank you very much for the presentation and for all of the work that it represents. Colleagues have any questions? Alder Smith?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you both so much for what you do for the city, and thank you for this presentation. Just to make sure I understand, am I correct in saying that these four allotments of funds are to add additional units to sustain current shelters that exist and to allow the operations to sustain?
So with the families, you want that?
Some of this is sustained and some of it is expanding services, right? It's not necessarily new, but more expanded and thinking from that wraparound approach as Velma had talked about. When we think about expanding the navigation hub. Go ahead, Velma.
Yeah, answer that.
And then, this is your all's areas of expertise. I'd be curious just to hear you listed those top line metrics at the beginning. How do you think about these four investments working together to help to address them? For example, I noticed you had a metric around average payment for new reach being 90 days. We imagine as a investment that 90 days to perhaps 80, 75. I know that it's a little too in the weeds, but we'd just love to hear you all talk about these investments potentially sort of allow us to create a targeted metric.
So love to be able to have it be less than 90 days. What we're hoping to do through our prevention piece is to not have families to come into the system for starters, to be able to stave off people coming into shelter reasons. We fund easy to provide prevention and diversion to families. That's our ways of being able to address that. The other thing too is the educational piece. So it's education for people that are at risk and come seeking assistance, as well as for people that are in shelter, teaching them about landlords and evictions, how to be able to make an apartment. If something is broken, don't turn a blind eye, but to speak up and how to speak with your landlord. And so as we look at being able to address the educational, the prevention pieces, that's our hope in being able to lower the time that people stay in shelters. Because one of the things that we know is that we found that landlords really like when they see that we've invested in our clients, and we've been investing in themselves by taking these courses in tenant education and financial literacy. And Dorina mentioned about people bringing up their credit scores. Those are the ways that we try to stave off homelessness and to be able to get people up out of homelessness even sooner. That's it. Question.
Thank you both for your
You want to share? Could you expand a little bit on the library itself, the hours, what would be the role?
Sure, and I could do one even better. I have Sylvia here from Liberty. If it's okay with the committee, I could
Absolutely.
invite her up to be telling. Sylvia?
Welcome. You can just give us your name and address for the record
Sure.
before you start with the question.
Sylvia Mascarello, 153 East Street, New Haven. Your question about the libraries. We have a core program with libraries. We started integrating social services in the New Haven Library in 2014. And we have a full-time person embedded at IVES. We experienced that the branches had certain personalities and needed some help. We did start providing hours at two of the branches. For the last 2 years, we've been going to Wilson and we do only do afternoon a week. That helps us bring people to our main hub and to use IVES as a full-time person. But we have had quite an impact in those afternoons at Dixwell with another afternoon. This started with me going, this is what's the important part. This is an investment and a seed. In 2014, I used to go Mondays and Fridays for an hour. Okay, and then now there's a full-time person in one branch. We are always through the library looking to embed these services. We assist people with employment, and we had, at the branches, we had 13 house placements. 13 homeless people went to the branches over the year and became housed because of those 4 hours that are there. I'd say it was an amazing investment. And then another 50 something were assisted to connect with their employment or education. So that little bit of time there whets them with someone using services, and then we engage them to our hub or the other hubs in the area. It is also a way of promoting literacy, service literacy. That's why it was always a really beautiful relationship with the library. Housing literacy, health literacy, and those are the things that are in our area. So that's what it is. But right now, what this is representing in this branch is 3 afternoons, and that also pulls our outreach staff there. And it pulls other people from other agencies. So as we plant that little seed and someone's there, more things start happening around it.
Thank you. That's a great way of reaching out because during the cold weather, a lot of people, a lot of agencies, they want to stay there. So appreciate it.
We want to help them less, not use the library less, use it less for shelter, and more for improving the condition here.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thanks for working with it. Other questions from the committee, then you guys are done. We'll see if there's a written public who wants to testify.
Sure.
And, but you can go back to your seats. Okay. Thank you.
Looks like she's going to leave.
Is there anyone from the public who would like to testify on any of these items? For the second time, is there anyone from the public who would like to testify on items we've heard tonight? For the third time, is there anyone from the public who'd like to testify? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to close the public portion of the meeting.
So move.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to close the public portion of the meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstention. Motion carries. The public portion is now closed. Okay, now we'll move the items. So I'll entertain a motion to move item number 1, which is the gap funding for Life Haven Emergency Shelter.
I move item number 1.
Okay, Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussions on the Life Haven shelter? I'll just say that this is in my ward. It's very happy used, and it's always best to be seen. I'm really happy to see ongoing support and urge my colleagues to support this item. So if there's no more discussion, we'll take a vote on item number 1. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Okay, the motion carries. We'll go on to the next item, number 2, which is services. Any discussion of this item? Oh, and can I get a motion to move this item?
Move this item.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Alder Singh.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think this is a great service, especially the library that reaching out to people that use the library there. Win-win situation that will have conflict to government and education. I think this is very, thank you.
Any other discussion? If there's no more discussion, we will take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nay. Abstention? So noted. So the motion carries. Okay, we'll move on to the next item, item number 3, which is the Christian Community Action Gap Funding. Do I hear a motion to move this item?
So move.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion on this item?
Madam Chair, community action has been a pillar in the neighborhood for quite some time. They do a lot more than house people and giving them a place, a warm place with service and emergency stuff at a time for people that get displaced, so forth, to do them a pantry shelter. So this is an organization in the Hill who will know that stand up well with our neighbors.
Thank you. Any other discussion on this item? I will agree. I appreciate the work of Christian Community Action. If there's no more discussion, we'll take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nay. Abstention? Okay, the motion carries. Moving on to item number 4. Do I hear a motion on item number 4?
So move.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion on the Rock Ministries item? Alder Singh.
This is money that will be well spent with this rock ministry to house folks that need to be housed during the cold weather and reach out to them and provide services. So, again, there's a lot of people houseless, being around, and our constituent complains a lot that people are roaming the street. So this is one that get them on the street during the cold weather. Thank you.
Any other discussion? I just want to add that this is actually a huge step forward. This is the old ESMS shelter that we lost during COVID. And bringing 65 beds online for the city of New Haven is a huge, and so thank you to everybody from the city to make this happen. If there's no more discussion, we'll now take a vote. Did I get that right? Yes? Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Nay? Abstentions? Okay, the item passes. So now on item number 5.
So move.
Thank you. Second. So the item has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on the Financial Empowerment Center item? I really appreciated learning about this. I'd heard about it just kind of through the grapevine, and I've been promoting it to my constituents, and I hope that this additional funding will enable even more outreach and knowledge about the program. I think it's a great service. Question? Okay, so now we'll take a vote. Now all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nay? The item passes. Okay. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
All opposed, abstentions? Item passes. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Jessica, are you gonna take the next?